following program is taped in front of a studio audience and is a production of Fugues Media. Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome back to Assholes. Thanks for joining us in the finale of this three-part collection of Fugues at Mediclub. I'm Gabe, and this is my inner voice, Chevy Chase.
What?
I just wanted to throw in another famous asshole.
So should we do one more review of State Your Hate?
Okay, sure. The event we'll be describing is basically a meditation retreat.
Okay, so?
Let's just say I have a thing for events like this.
Like a crush?
Yeah, like an anti-crush. We both find group meditation and wellness retreats a little,
Lame.
I was gonna say kind of irritatingly positive.
Okay, so, lame. And we've once again renewed your biases.
Aw, they're like vows, but for hate. So where did we leave off from part 2?
Well, first you got a right hemisphere high during your meditation fugue.
Right.
Then you entered a squirmy vulnerability fugue during Sharesies when you discovered how lonely and fearful you are all the time, just like everyone else.
Shut up.
And then you went all in for a synchrony fugue when your tiny dancer aligned with all the other tiny dancers in the room during the sing-along to the point where you were coaching your group's performance and smiling like a chump.
You're never gonna let me live that down, are you?
Nope. So, are we gonna wrap this up?
Yeah, let's get to the gripping conclusion of this Mediclub experience on June 6th, 2018. After the cult choir finished their hymnal, Jesse brought everyone's attention back to the center of the ring with a few parting words to close the formal event, which led to another ovation. This time, I actually found myself proactively standing up while genuinely smiling and clapping. I guess I was still high from the sing-along. Wow, those are words I never thought I'd say out loud. As I considered my plan for an Irish goodbye, Jesse mentioned they had a vegan meal prepared on the roof, which overlooked Greenpoint and Manhattan in the distance. There would be a live DJ. I'm not a vegan, but I was starving, and the meal was included in the price of admission, so might as well get my money's worth. I got up to the roof, and the spread didn't look half bad. Fresh organic vegetables and pasta, no cashew cheese or plant-based chicken, my kind of vegan food. It almost looked like a singles night up there. All the pretty people chatting on a roof, strewn with Edison light bulbs during an early summer sunset. A light chill in the air, but comfortable. It looked like a live poster for a Greenpoint condo. I wondered how many people would start relationships on this roof. So as I stood in line for food, I made small talk with an almost emaciated-looking blonde guy ahead of me. He kind of towered over everyone else by like a foot. With a buzzy smile, he stood back and surveyed me. He told me he saw a conflicted soul with genuine kindness. Okay. He gesticulated a lot as he talked, and I stumbled backwards, sort of bobbing and weaving, dodging his arms, and I elbowed the elbow of someone behind me, knocking a plate of food out of their hands. I apologized as I knelt down to help clean it up. Then I caught a glimpse of who I knocked into. It was the MC, Jesse Israel. He smiled politely and said he recognized me, that I was the guy instructing the others during the sing-along at the end. I was embarrassed to admit that was true, and in spite of myself, I was kind of flattered he recognized me. He asked if I was a musician. No idea how he knew that, but I said,
"Yeah, used to be."
And he sort of waved that off. He seemed to know full well that I still considered myself one. And before I knew it, I was telling him my whole background and philosophy as a musician, like we were the only two people on that roof. Then he asked what I was doing with music now. Would I be interested in directing the music for an upcoming Mediclub? Could I write and perform music again? I couldn't believe it, but I heard myself say,
"Yeah, okay."
We met at Pencil Factory, a pub a couple blocks away, later that night and talked about what I would do for an event like this. And that's how it started. We had a number of planning meetings that followed, and sure enough, I became one of the music directors. And just a year later, he encouraged me to kick one off in Reykjavik.
The first question I want to ask you is, Do you have any idea how miraculous it is that you're alive? That we're all alive? So you've got your life. What did you expect? Everything to go perfectly, just right? Hasn't quite happened that way, has it? Well, that's because we're all beautifully imperfect. And the acceptance of that idea is vital to your fulfillment as a human being. Whatever has happened to you so far, it's in the past. But you have a future in front of you. This extraordinary opportunity to record and make sacred every experience you have, experiences you can shape using that impossibly complex tape recorder made of wet electrified tissue housed in those skulls of yours. You are immersed in this unusual, beautiful, and exotic landscape, and you get to take part in an infinite number of possible events that can transpire within. What a time to be alive. You should never be bored, but you should be open. What do I mean by open? I mean open to checking your pasts at the door, and even your imagined futures. Just be here now. I ask you to grant yourself permission to let your soul breathe. Breathe in light and mischief, goodness and love. Today we flourish in the bliss of an uncertain future.
The bliss of an uncertain future, huh?
You didn't like that?
No. And this didn't even actually happen, right?
No.
Wait, really? None of it?
Well, some of it. I did go to the after party on the roof, and the food was good.
You dork.
Funny though, for as much of a haterade drinking Larry David asshole I can be, if that Mediclub opportunity presented itself, I think I might have taken it.
You're such a Gemini.
What?
Split personality. I mean, there must be something to it. So, would you have done the whole headphones with a mic guru thing?
Probably not. But you did say in part one you wanted to hear a bit from the play. I was enrolled in a playwriting course at the Barrow Group Theater, and I was working on a script about a cult leader, and this felt like good research.
Ooh, tell us about the play. God, as if this show wasn't narcissistic enough. So, you gonna stop dicking around and tell the real ending now?
Sure. Jesse mentioned they had a vegan meal prepared on the roof. There would be a live DJ. I'm not a vegan, but I was starving, so might as well get my money's worth. I was in line behind two short, giggly women. They were conspicuously whispering to each other, and I had a feeling they'd be okay with me butting in. So, while tonging bow tie pasta onto my recyclable paper plate, I asked them point blank what they thought. The one in a flowy dress said they came on a dare and didn't really like it. I told them it wasn't really for me either, and that I had kind of a grudge against the host, Jesse Israel. Turns out they did too, and the three of us got louder, making fun of them within earshot of the other participants. And then one of them flashed a weed vape pen in the lapel of her blue jean jacket, so...
The lapel? You mean her pocket?
Yes. Shut the fuck up. We found a quiet spot on the roof and took a few hits. Weed always gives me kind of a seize the day sort of inspiration, and I had an idea. I told Jean Jacket and Flowy Dress that I was going to do the smell trick on Jesse. I don't know why, but if you ask someone to smell something foul, it's strangely irresistible. Weird proof of this. When I was a kid, my dad and I took our cat Buddha to the vet, and Buddha hated the car, so he pissed all over my dad's hands. The whole way home from the vet, my dad smelled his hands at every red light. Ugh. Red light again. Ugh. Red light again. Ugh. Dad, the smell's gonna be there until you get home and wash it off, but he couldn't help himself. Anyway, it's a fun setup. You build a narrative that explains a plausible scenario for the food to smell bad, and the moment they're hooked, when they lean in to smell it, you gently push it, not into their whole face, just a little boop on the nose. Ordinarily, this is done with an ice cream cone or a frosted cupcake, but in this case, there's nothing like that nearby, so I was ready to abort. And then Jean Jacket had an idea. Use the hummus. Now I had my ammunition. I guess it's go time. Okay, so Jesse's on the other side of the roof by the DJ talking to like a gaggle of women. Stoned and bold, I marched over on a mission with a bowl of hummus in my hand. I interrupted him and launched into my spiel about why I should smell it. But then he interrupted me, saying he saw me in the crowd singing my ass off during the sing-along, which almost threw me off my goal. So I played along and told him, yeah, I was really into it. Such a cool event. Thanks for having me, by the way. But man, the whole thing was so intense, I was starving, and I love hummus, but clearly something is off with it. Was there too much lemon in it? Had it gone bad? Maybe it'd been out in the sun for too long? Either way, you could kind of smell it. Okay, maybe I was pouring it on a little too thick. I asked if he'd noticed the smell, but it wasn't really biting, so I took a pita chip, dipped it in the hummus, and held it out for him to inspect. He looked at me for a second and started leaning in for a whiff.
There you go, just a bit closer.
Believe it or not, there is a moral code to the smell trick. You can't chase the food into people's faces, and I'd already gone further than I normally would. So I think, suspicious of my motives, he started to pull back, and then I don't know what happened, but I chased. I went way too hard at him, and I mistakenly broke the pita chip on his nose, and I think some hummus might have even clogged one of his nostrils. He was a bit stunned and sort of sneezed it out like a nervous dog, and just as I stepped back to survey the damage, jean jacket and flowy dress, who I didn't know were right behind me, spoon-flicked more hummus at him. I think some got in his eye, and a big gob hung off his beard, which looked ridiculous and honestly kind of awesome. He was understandably livid, and he yelled at us to get the fuck out as he waved his people over. We didn't wait, and the three of us made a beeline out of there.
For fuck's sake, this isn't how it ended either.
No, but the Larry David in me wishes it did.
Would you knock it off? For real this time. Come on, let's go.
Okay. Jesse mentioned they had a vegan meal prepared on the roof, and there would be a live DJ. But waiting in line for food, I saw a friendly couple ahead of me who seemed to like the event and turned to ask me what I thought. I said I liked certain parts, other bits weren't really for me. They said they agreed, and I told them I'd probably never 100% believe in something like this, and maybe I'm not 100% into most things. They seemed to agree with that too. I liked them. I plated myself some pasta and salad and had a seat on a bench. A friendly woman sat down next to me, and we had a nice, forgettable chat about the experience. Mostly, I found this after-party kind of depressing. While I was definitely there to see what I could glean from my little cult leader play, I left Mediclub feeling like I just left a blind date, but with 200 people. So, I walked out, and I haven't been to a group meditation since. Happy birthday to me. Welcome back to Assholes, everybody. Well, inner voice, I think we made it to the end.
Not before you sounded like the saddest sack ever in a group meditation.
Yeah. Let's get right to business for our final segment.
Great. Let's get to Owala.
Owala.
Owala, that's a pretty name. What is that?
It's an acronym.
Opinions are like assholes.
Oh.
Opinions are like assholes. It's a lightning question round. I'll get us started. Do you believe in the multiverse?
What? What kind of No, start again.
Okay. I'll get us started. Do you believe in time? Do you believe in ghost reality real?
I see what you did there, but why ask about the multiverse?
Your little alternate endings.
Yeah, I was trying on different realities, like if I strayed to a permanent 2, maybe a 1 on the sucker side of the ass scale, and another if I went to a permanent 8, maybe a 9 on the ass scale.
That's one way to look at it. Or maybe the real life ending was so dull, you had to spice it up.
I'm gonna stick with my thought experiment explanation, thank you.
Okay. So, same question.
No. No multiverse.
No multiverse?
No multiverse. It just seems like a function of human thinking. Like just about every time travel story is a result of wanting to change the past, which probably happens because our conscious experiences are either buried in memory or obsessed with possible futures. The multiverse just feels like a result of being stuck in the idea of possible futures and possible pasts with a severe case of the what-ifs.
Okay, fine. Moving on before the inevitable Marvel discussion.
Oh, don't even get
I
me started.
said moving on.
Opinions? Assholes.
Meditation. Yes or no?
Yes, but it took another 4 years after this event before I really embraced it.
So, you like it now?
Yeah, I'm just not great at it yet, but it's making a difference. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface on how I can shape my own reactions and mental experiences. Whether it's wed to any kind of spirituality isn't really important to me. At the very least, it seems worth it to be able to willfully control my own heart rate, though.
And how's that going?
Like I said, I'm still working on it. There's this one technique you can do to activate a relaxation response in your body called the 4-7-8 technique. You breathe in 4 seconds, hold 7 seconds, and breathe out for 8.
And this is a relaxation response?
Yeah, there are 2 opposing responses in your body in the presence of stress. They're like a yin-yang. The one that gets your body ready for stress is called your sympathetic nervous response, your fight or flight. It jacks everything up, like your heart rate and increased blood flow to your muscles. And if that's the yang, the yin is the parasympathetic response, which calms everything back down. It's the chill mode that follows the stress response.
So, that slow, deep breathing is an intentional way to activate that parasympathetic de-stressing thing.
That's what they say. Good for calming yourself down when something shitty's happening, and apparently good for sleeping.
And you don't need to project loving energy into the world to do this?
I mean, you can, but you don't have to.
This wasn't exactly a lightning answer, so let's move on.
Ugh, opinions.
What about group meditation?
Nope.
So much for growth and change.
It's just anything like this tends to have a set of common language and behaviors, and it immediately creates an in-crowd and an out-crowd, which clearly I'm sensitive to. I guess I'm more of a solo act when it comes to meditation.
Whatever. You just hate being told what to do.
Truth. Personal trainers? Fuck you, I won't do another set. Camp counselors? Fuck you, I won't do arts and crafts. Yoga teachers? Fuck you, I won't open my heart chakra.
You are so very dumb.
That's not a question.
Okay. Why are you so dumb?
I don't know.
Opinions. Nobody cares.
Here's a big one. Should mental health and self-help be a for-profit industry?
It doesn't really matter. It's not going to change anytime soon, but it would be cool if modern religion actually did this stuff. Take away the indoctrination, the threats of eternal damnation, the ghosts and demons. Keep the tax-exempt status so it can stay low cost. Keep the focus on people's mental health and purpose. Keep the feelings of community. And let everyone in so you can axe the in-crowd, out-crowd bullshit.
Aw, nice fantasy. Oh hey, you made a multiverse.
Opinions, opinions, opinions.
Okay, next question. How skeptical is too skeptical?
I think I was too skeptical about meditation until 6 months ago, and it was probably to my own detriment. If, for example, you find yourself so skeptical of the medical community not to take antibiotics while you have pneumonia, odds are you've probably swung too far. But if you're too much of a sucker, you maybe didn't make it out of childhood because you believed the promise of candy and cartoons in a windowless van owned by a dude with a very thin mustache.
Nice.
Still, overall, I'd say our little species has a gullibility problem more than a skepticism problem.
Why do you think that is? Where does that come from?
I'll tell you. Torama. Get it like a drama.
That's in poor taste.
Sorry. So the School of Psychology at the University of Leicester published a study in 2006 that found that people with harrowing or difficult life events were generally considered more suggestible.
Life events like what?
You know, illnesses, injuries, being fired or laid off, bullying, being a victim of a crime or abuse, divorce, death of family members or close friends. So the more trauma, the more people lose their sense of a healthy skepticism.
Knowing this kind of allows for a bit more compassion for people that you call a sucker, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Opinions. Yours stinks too.
Do you think you'll always be a 6 on the ass scale?
I wonder how much movement people make on their own ass scales. Seems possible to stray a few points in either direction, but I'm sure we probably all snap back to our baselines.
Yeah, it's like...
As homeostasis. As holeostasis?
Ignoring that.
Opinions are like assholes.
Okay, final question. Can you be skeptical without being an asshole?
I guess if we had to do another famous TV character example, Ted Lasso would probably be a good model.
Yeah, he's just so Ned Flandersy.
Howdy, neighborino. You sure diddly ding dong do sound a bit more skeptical than noodly normal.
That was just terrible.
Did you know there's an English to Ned Flanders translator on the internet?
Noodly no. I doodly did not.
Anyway, Ted Lasso's like an angel Larry David, open to stuff he doesn't know, but also mindful of people with ulterior motives.
We're not advocating for us all to walk around acting like Ted Lasso, are we?
No, it's just a mental image. Handsome white dude in khakis with a chunky mustache. It's an easy reminder whenever we're straying too far on one side or the other on the ass scale. Maybe we could make a t-shirt.
With Ted Lasso on it.
No, it could be one of those face mashups of Larry David and Barry White.
Barry White?
Betty White. Betty White.
Are we out of time yet? Do we have an inner producer or something?
Yeah, she's doing cartwheels right now. So I guess this concludes Opinions Are Like Assholes?
Oh, voila.
And it also takes us to the end of our show.
That's it for this penetrating examination of our inner assholes at Mediclub. Thank you so much for letting us share our fugues with you here on Assholes. We'll see you next time.
If there is a next time. Sayonara, assholes.
Assholes is brought to you by Fugues Media, all rights reserved. Distribution of this material is strictly prohibited. Services rendered and promotional fees provided by the following. The Multiverse. Welcome to Ass Notes, a quick roundup of extra credit reading. And that, mercifully, will be the last ass pun for a good long while. Thanks for bearing with us. You can make your own decision about the multiverse from a physics perspective. There's a great roundup of the evidence to support or deny the existence of the multiverse. And go see Everything Everywhere All at Once, for crying out loud. You can learn about Mediclub and their larger mass meditation series, The Big Quiet. There's also a link to learn more about quote-unquote social entrepreneur, meditation leader, and former record label executive Jesse Israel. You can read the study that explains what makes us lean towards the sucker side of the ass scale, and learn a bit more about the 478 relaxation technique. Fugues is written and produced by this sucker, Gabriel Berezin. Music composition by Santiago Arias Rozo. Script editing and voiceover by Monty Montan. And logo design by Justin Montan. See you in the next Fugue.